All right, this video goes out to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, this is how we're going to use the KANERx to work on that shoulder. First thing we're going to go over is that door anchor placement. So we're going to put that at about the same level that we're going to be working. So about shoulder height is where that door anchor is going to be placed. And then we're going to start off in the front area here with the big hook. So we're going to be opposite the door anchor. That little hook's going to go in the door anchor. And then that big hook is going to come in right here. Now we're painting, we're going to outline a rectangle here to work on. The collarbone is the top. The sternum is the inside, the chest is the bottom, and then the armpit is the outside. So that rectangle there, we're gonna work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different spots, and that's where that big hook of the cane comes in, and I'm just gonna lean into that. Now, when I'm doing that work, I don't want my head to come forward. I want my head to stay in neutral. It's not uncommon to feel some stuff down the arm as I'm pushing in here, because that will be closing down on the roof of what's called the thoracic outlet, and that's that tunnel that the artery vein and nerves share to go into the arm. And so you'll feel a little bit of stuff in the arm. If it gets too weird, obviously take a break, don't push as hard, and or just move it. So I'm gonna do that spot there, threshold, let that fade, and then after that fades, I'm just gonna stretch my arm back, and then I'm gonna move it to the next spot, and so on and so forth. Obviously, this is faster than what you would go because you're going to be waiting on that threshold and then waiting for the fade for each one of those spots. So that's the front end. And then we're going to go right off to the side of that, right where the armpit comes up. We're going to meet it there, and then we're going to ride that up until you start to feel it get bony to right about there. And that's those biceps tendon areas. There's some other tendons in there that we're going to work as well. It's also the front end of that shoulder capsule that we're going to be able to get in there and sort of work with. Again, I am moving much faster than you're going to move. You're going to go each spot, threshold, let it fade, and then I'm moving about the width of that knobby to the next spot. And so that's the increment of movement that I'm using there. The next one I'm going to show you on this shoulder for sake of not having to move. I'm going to have the cane down, and we're taking the side of the shoulder. So you come off your shoulder and you feel that bony ledge, and it's right on the downside of that is where that's going to start. And so I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to let that threshold there fade, and then I'm going to move that one down kind of right in the middle, all the way down to about middle of the arm is sort of a good distance there. You may find that you get some interesting stuff slightly off to the anterior of that and slightly off to the posterior of that. So that's just the general guideline, is right down the middle there. And then the back end is kind of where the seam of your shirt goes back, the seam of the shirt sleeve, and then the shirt itself. That's that back tendon area, and that's that space in between the shoulder blade and the shoulder. And it's kind of a bigger area. It's about from here to here, and the cane is really great at picking up that stuff in there. So again, you're just going to start, you can start low, and just again, you're leaning into that threshold, let that fade, and then you're moving it up about a knob width up those external rotators of the shoulder there. So that's the geographic landmarks to hit with the cane, and that's how I do it standing. And then next video I'm going to show you how we're going to do the stretches.